Today we've come to the village of Portals Nous, and it's where we used to live for many years, and so it's sort of our home town here in Mallorca. And behind us we have the Oratorio church, and it's got this most splendid position. If we just pan round, you can see it overlooks the sea and the island where we've swam to many times, and just below we have the beach. Not looking at its best today. We've had some storms over the last 24-48 hours. Storm Bella has been blowing waves onto the beaches here, and it's brought with it all the seaweed, which will probably be left on the beach. It just stabilizes the sand a little bit, so they don't usually clear the seaweed off the beach immediately, but they will do before the tourists arrive, so it will look a lot better. But you can see the water's a lot higher, the beach is a lot smaller than it would normally appear. The sand has been shifted around a little bit, and every now and again we see some quite big waves coming through between the island and the port of Portals. So still some reasonable waves, even though it's quieting down a little bit. We're going to have a little bit of a walk around the village, and then we'll perhaps pop down to the port. When we first came to live in Mallorca, which is 35 years ago now, this beach didn't really exist. It was just a narrow strand of pebbles, and the port in the distance there, Portals, didn't exist. That wasn't there at all, nothing. So when we first came here, we saw this port develop, to grow, and this is where they built the beach by just pumping sand onto the pebbles. And so just out there was a ship moored, constantly dumping sand and creating a nice wide beach. It wasn't the beach we see now, it was a uniform width all the way along, but now the sand from this side was carried towards the port on that side, and so it became wider on the port side, and it remained a narrow little strand. Looking down, actually, it looks quite sandy down there. It's normally a pebbly beach, but the sand's obviously been moved around to make it sandy. Okay, so we'll now move up into the village. They've always held outdoor masses, particularly in the summer. I imagine this has become even more important now we're in this pandemic. It's the end of December and it's 2020, and we're at the Oratorio church in Portals Nous, and this is the altar that they use each week, I believe, and so the parishioners will come in and stand or sit in this area. Now, I'm noticing there are some parts that have been cordoned off. Not sure what that means. I'm just walking back towards the village. Notice they've got surveillance cameras here. Seems a bit new. And years ago, when we lived here, there used to be a restaurant here. It used to be actually on this side, which is where people from the church live. That door actually led to the restaurant, and then they expanded and used to use the terrace out here as a sort of a barbecue area. That then changed and it became a restaurant on the outside only, which was very successful for a number of years, but recently being closed down. And here's a wooden sculpture which has been placed here. It's quite nice. Inside it's protective casing. And when we lived here, this area was just a piece of red ash playing area, football pitch, and there was a little park which I used to bring the children to, I seem to remember, and they would play on the swings and I would read a book. But they built this sports area, sports complex, which I guess is used by the locals, maybe even the school. So in front of us we have what's now called King Richard III School, but when we first came it was the American School of Mallorca, ASM. Changed its name to AIS, the American International School, and then became King Richard. Still operating though, no longer a boarding school. Not really any boarding schools now in this part of the island, but a day school seems to be doing okay. So now looking down the road to the oratorio, and on the left there we have Chimelli's, which for those of you with very long memories might remember it as the Bella Vista Cafe, where you could sit outside. And just down that road we go down to the opera, which used to be a regular haunt of ours. Every Friday evening we would go and have pizza there with the children. Coming round here, this restaurant changed a number of times over the years, but it used to be our bank, and then the bank moved up the road. Next to that we have the paper shop and Sidon, the wonderful supermarket which we still buy our Christmas turkey and our wine from, and we do visit quite regularly. Excellent proprietors there, so we're always happy to go back. Our first bank was this, well, it wasn't the Banco Marc, but the bank that was there before that, Banco Credito de Baleares, and that closed a long time ago. It was empty for a while. Now Banco Marc have taken it over, and we just pass round, we can see the little shopping centre there. And if you've got any late letters to send to Los Reyes, here's the post box specifically to send to the Three Kings. And on this side we've got Bankia, which I believe is one of the banks that's now doing a merger, and the rest of the village of Portals Nous. Over the last year or two, a number of places have gone by the wayside, and this one, which used to be known as the Flintstones, they had to change their name because of copyright issues. But it changed, and then whoever had it next is now gone, and the place is now for sale. So we're looking for something else to go there. Opposite the road we have the building that was built again when we first came to the island. This was actually a piece of waste ground. People used to walk the dogs on it, and then this was built and has now become quite an established part of the village. For many years, Delsey's was a focal point of Mallorca, where you would come to buy your greetings cards, birthday cards, Christmas cards. When we first came here, it was where we used to get our videos so that we could watch English TV. Well, sadly that's now closed, and Leon has retired, so we have to find somewhere else to buy our Christmas cards and birthday cards. Across the road we've got the ship and Multimarine, and the hotel, the Marina Portals. I was asked recently if there were any hotels open in the Marina Portals in Mallorca, and all I could say was yes, but I couldn't actually name any. Well, here's one that is open, the Hotel Marina Portals in Portals Nous, overlooking Puerto Portals, and it is open. Just across the road from the Marina Portals, a restaurant now called the Port Blanc, which used to be the Continental when we lived here and was run by Manolo. And interestingly, Manolo now has a restaurant just at the bottom of our road in Genova, a place that we visit quite regularly. We're just going to walk back into the village, look at it from the other side of the road. So we're walking past Multimarine, closed for their Christmas holidays, fish and chips at the Ship. That's where Anita goes to meet all her knitting friends. This used to be the Banca Mark, but as you saw earlier in the video, the Banca Mark has moved into the centre of the village, perhaps to a more prominent location. This is the road that takes you down to the beach if you want to walk down to the beach, and it's where we used to live, just down here on the left hand side. And on the right hand side we have Casa Paco, and a place we used to visit regularly, lots of our friends visit, and I'm sure many of you will be sad to see that it's now for sale, it's now closed. Paco has decided it's time to retire, so no more Casa Paco, and hopefully someone will take this restaurant on for the new season 2021 and make a success of it. This is the road that goes down to the beach, so we're going to have a little walk down and we'll go all the way down to the beach. So this is the walk as you go down to the beach, and just to the left there is a small car park, municipal car park, which in later years we've actually used to park when we couldn't find parking at the bottom. The road ends as far as you can see there, and then it goes down the steps to the sea. So we're now at the top of the steps that lead us down to the beach, but there's some fantastic views from here, and there is a restaurant at the top with a wonderful terrace just setting up overlooking the port. We've not quite made it down to the port yet. We're back up at the church. We went down as far as the steps to the beach, and then decided to make our way back to the car, which is parked near to the church. So we're going to stop this video here, and we'll drive down to the port and have a walk around there. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends so they can see what Puerto Portals is like at the end of 2020. And I'll see you in the next video.